Inside the Birds is back. What's going on, everybody? It's Geoff Mosher, Adam Caplan. Very late Thursday night. I know most people are listening to this Friday morning. Eagles coming off a win there against the Giants at the Link. And for a while, Adam, it looked like I was a soothsayer. I don't know if you remember, but in our
Oh, I do.
show, I predicted the Giants to win 20-16, and it was 21-16. But then the Eagles had an opportunity that was kind of gift wrapped to them there at the end, and they took advantage of it. They scored, and what they couldn't do against the Ravens, they did against the Giants. And I have a lot of emotions and thoughts about the game. I imagine you do too.
Yeah, my opening thought would be that there's a little bit of luck involved. Evan Ingram, that not an easy catch. One thing or you got to pull it in. Okay, that would have essentially ended the game. Though the Eagles had a bunch of their timeouts, and I'll say this about Doug Peterson. I have some issues with his two-point conversion calls. I don't like them. I think they're struggling with it. I think he could do a better job, but he does a good job for the most part with time management. You notice he had those two timeouts left. It's one of the underrated parts of his ability to coach is making sure that you use the timeouts correctly, and he did, by the way. He actually used them. He only used the one timeout after they were able to stuff a couple of those runs there. But, look, I give him credit. Carson Wentz had a highly uneven game. Don't let the numbers fool you. He did not play that well, but it wasn't all his fault, clearly. His final drive was phenomenal. The touchdown pass to Boston Scott, I still cannot believe it. That was incredible. But their line had major issues up the middle. He had trouble stepping the throws. That's a problem. Lane Johnson got hurt in the game. He's got now two injuries, knee and ankle, and they've got some problems on their offensive line. And now they have some time, though. This was an early week game, obviously. They've got plenty of time here, but they've got to get some offensive linemen back. And we're going to have some updates on our Monday morning show with probably about 5 or 6 more injury updates that we're working on.
Yeah, obviously the injuries. I mean, they just keep manifesting, and DeSean Jackson goes down there at the end.
Look bad.
Limps off the field. I mean, he threw his helmet. He took his helmet off and threw it, down. And you just wonder, you hope it's not his last snap as an Eagle or as an NFL player. But, he's up there, and he's missed a lot of games the last 2 years, and that looked like a pretty gruesome injury. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him and find out the extent of the injury. There's a phrase, the better team won, right? And in this case, and I'm going to kind of borrow a line that a friend of mine texted me, the better bad team won. Right? This was a Thursday night game that was pretty resemblant of what Thursday night games used to look like, back in the Color Rush days and, when the league was just trying to put two teams on.
Color Rush.
The Color Rush day. I mean, that was all that this game was missing. It was ugly.
But see, when you say Color Rush, I don't know why this happened. There's some things happen when you're talking. I think of stuff like you remind me of. Remember the awful mustard Jaguars Color Rush? Awful.
Yes.
And I love them. I love the Color Rush jerseys. I like.
Oh no, I hated the Jets, the lime green Jets one.
Right. Some I don't like, but overall I like sort of loud colors. I have some sneakers which my wife thinks I'm out of my mind, that are very bright, but I kind of like it. I think it's cool, but
good for your street cred.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. If I have any left, but look, this was, I guess the Eagles are incredible on Thursday nights in their black jerseys. I love the black jerseys, man. I'm all for it, man. It's very slimming, for the offensive linemen.
Yeah. Well, the Eagles are now what 5-0, I believe, or is it 6-0?
I don't know.
16, 17, 18,
They're
19,
undefeated
20.
with them on
6-0 for Doug Peterson on Thursday Night Football. They continue their win streak against the Giants. What I'm really curious about, and we'll find this answer over the next few days, is really how the fans feel about this, because you and I tend to look at things through a different prism because we're reporters.
Yeah.
And I just sense, a quick sense is that it's not the usual happiness that you feel. Even with an ugly win, fans can be happy. But you're 1-4-1. You played 2 tough games against the Ravens and the Steelers. And I think people were expecting, and maybe unfairly because you don't have Miles Sanders and Zach Ertz now, and Lane's back in now, I think people were just expecting a little bit more cleanliness. Carson to continue to progress the way he's played the last 2 games before that, and he really didn't. And then, with 2 minutes to go, you're thinking we're about to lose to Wayne Gallman and Daniel Jones running an 80-yarder in. And that's what it was really the difference at one point.
Yeah. Well said. You want to get started on offense?
Yeah, let's talk about the offense. And we can focus on the final drive because, when you're in a situation like this, you absolutely need some people to come up big for you. Obviously, Richard Rodgers, as their number one tight end, makes a really nice catch and a good throw from Carson.
Yeah. What's funny about Richard Rodgers? If you don't follow college football closely, I didn't know much about him, but I remember talking to some scouting people when he came out of, I think, Cal. He was a pretty accomplished athletic tight end. Now, he put on weight over the years. He's become more of a blocker than a pass catcher. But you saw that 30-yard catch was crucial, obviously. He hit several big games, 6 for 85 on 8 targets. Thing that I noticed in this game, and it's going to happen until Ertz comes back, and I'm going to give you an update on Ertz in a minute here. Their inability to control the middle of the field with a tight end, because that's the thing. They didn't run very many slants.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't think
although
Carson
they really
threw inside the numbers a whole lot. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I don't think Carson in general threw inside the numbers a whole lot.
Yeah, very little. And they got to get the one of my many criticisms of this game plan. Where is Fulgham on those in-breaking routes, on sevens? On just shorter and then let him go forward because he's got a big frame. I mean, Carson missed him. In fact, I guess he would have had him for a touchdown. The slant to Jackson, which he didn't hit. Source told me that Fulgham, this person knows already because I don't know how the hell he knows. But this guy said, I'm just telling you that Fulgham was open and he didn't Carson didn't see him. Yeah,
it looked like on TV there was a corner route that he was going to be open.
Exactly.
On.
He won. Yeah, he won. Yeah, he won. So look, Fulgham's 40-yard catch was pretty sweet, pretty amazing. The kid, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Not only is he's their ex for the season, he's their ex of the future. I'll go that far. I mean, another little underrated aspect of this kid's game. I don't know how I didn't chart look at my notes. How many, with the exclamation point, penalties? How many penalties did this guy draw?
You're talking about Fulgham drawing penalty? Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? I thought there were 2 instances where he should have drawn a penalty
easily
and
3.
They didn't call it. Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
no,
but easily 3. And,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was curious going into the game if Joe Judge kind of came from that. We know he comes from the Belichick tree, right? And we know that the Belichick motto is we're going to take out the only player, the player that we think can hurt you the most.
They don't do that. Yeah. They don't do that.
And it didn't look like the Giants did that with Fulgham. They defended him okay, but they didn't really. No, they didn't do anything all that special.
I'll be honest with you. No one could handle Fulgham. No one's been able to do it. Carson missed him.
Mm-hmm.
If he treats Fulgham like he does Ertz, Fulgham will have 8 to 10 catches a game, but for much more yards because he's more explosive, for 100 to 120 yards a game. I mean, that's how good he is right now, to the point where if you're a man cover team, the bullseye's on him because Greg Cosell told us that often they only play sides. Mm-hmm. That's why Bradbury was not always on him.
Right.
So they could have taken advantage of that even more, and Carson missed him. The coaches have to do a better job. In fact, another thing that really annoyed me, I feel like the fans, the play calling, like the lack of imagination continues to show itself. Where is the pre-snap movement? I don't see very much of it. This offense has not been what I thought it would be. Be honest with you, I've been very disappointed with the coaches, just the scheme. Some games they seem like they're on their way to getting some things done. Oh, and another thing is the Hurts package is done. It doesn't work. It's over.
Yeah, that was a fun one game. I mean, I guess I'm surprised that on 4 days of preparation, when the opponent has only basically seen Jalen Hurts do some read option like he did last week. I mean, they've seen him throw the ball once, right? The most tape you have on Jalen Hurts is either he's a decoy or he's a runner, that they used him as a runner only, and they didn't try to do anything differently because the Giants wouldn't have had any tape on it.
Right. Hey, you know what they ought to do? Okay, first of all, take Wentz off the field. Let him play wildcat quarterback, zone read, RPO, whatever you want, probably RPO, whatever you want to do. Make him a guy that as soon as he comes on the field, you're concerned about him. Also, line him up as a slot receiver. Keep him in motion. Be more imaginative. I don't understand the lack of imagination. You brought all these coaches in. What are they doing?
No,
I
I'm
mean,
with you. I'm with you.
I want to see
And then
more, man.
obviously they got to go back to the drawing board on the 2-point conversions. I mean, they've been a
Awful.
disaster, an
Awful.
abject disaster.
What about, again, sprint right option for Christ's sake? I mean, can you roll the guy right? Carson is awesome throwing the ball on the run. And here's the other. Let's get to the Keem Butler throw.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why Carson threw it is because he had single coverage on Logan Ryan. But he's about roughly 6 inches taller. I don't have a problem with it. Some people on Twitter really did not like it. I actually don't have a problem with it. Here's the problem that I have. Hakeem Butler, dude,
yeah,
fight through the football.
Yeah, that's what the problem is. Yeah,
football.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm watching the play unfold, and you see that first he aligned wrong, but then he aligned and he was uncovered. And I'm thinking Carson just needs to call for the snap and then just throw the ball to him like a fastball, like a normal throw. And I thought Carson, by putting some air under it, I get it that he's trying to use the height, but I thought he had a chance to just throw it to the outside shoulder, and there's no way Logan Ryan could have gotten to it because he was still running in to the picture.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. I didn't think Hakeem put up much of a fight on it. Hakeem.
Yeah, you gotta use your frame 6'4". Look, I'm being being pretty critical, just because this has been an ongoing issue for me with the offensive play calling. We were sold a bill of goods about how imaginative this thing's going to be. I don't care if the owner forced these hires or forced them to do something. You know, we know what happened last year. The owner got involved and the coach is getting fired. It's not a secret. Yeah. My mom knows this. But I'm disappointed that we're not seeing better usage of pre-snap and post-snap. It's more pre-snap with the offense, not post-snap. But it's pre-snap. Hey, give me some motion. Shifting. I saw one shift. Oh, that was pretty cool. I was like, I look at my notes. Oh, shift. Make a note of that. I did, but I'm just not seeing what I thought I'd see, man. I'm kind of frustrated, to be honest with you. As you said, you and I aren't fans, but we like to see some imagination. I see the Niners doing it. Niners run 70% pre-snap motion most of the National Football League last season. I think it's around 70%. I'm not saying it's got to be that high, but could you do some stuff that's imaginative that you can make the defense think?
Yeah, the more we watch on Sundays, you're seeing a lot of teams that didn't normally do it start to incorporate it now. So I agree with you. And I also think, going back to what Ron Jaworski told us a week ago on Inside the Birds TV, Carson, when he's not getting hit, he's getting obstructed. And I'm not making excuses. The cross-body throw that he made to Fulgham that was almost picked off was a dumb throw.
Yeah.
The intentional grounding was a problem. He made a couple, there were times he held on to the ball trying to make something happen.
Too long. No check down.
What he needed to have was this mentality that, these are the Giants. Like, I just have to be smart. I have to protect the ball. I have to move the chains when I can and call a loss when it's a loss, not try to make too much happen. And he took the opposite approach, and it forced him to do bad habit things that we saw in the first 3 weeks. And you hope it doesn't carry over. But the bottom line is, Jaws is right. I counted. I think it was 11 hits on him, and that doesn't count the ones as a runner. That doesn't count, ones if it was Wildcat and he moves outside. I mean, he's taking too many hits, and when he's not taking a hit, he's throwing with a lineman coming down into his face, getting pushed back by the defense. It's just not. This is not a long a recipe for like sustained success. It's just we know this. They barely beat the Giants, and the Giants stink. So what are they going to do when they play teams better than the Giants? They're not going to perform very well.
Yeah, look, they've got an offensive line that's beat up, okay? Opeta, as we first reported in our pregame show, the expectation was he would start. He did. The funny thing is, I'm like, wait, I'm looking for him, right, in the huddle. I'm like, I don't know which number it is. I didn't look it up. I'm like, 78. That must be him. Wait a minute. Is that Hollis Thomas? Oh, it's 78. No, it's Suapeta.
Right. It's just like a who's who of who.
Right, exactly. Look, part of it is Carson. Yes. He will not check it down. That's on him. I still maintain he needs to be coached harder. How do I know this? Because you need to get someone who can get through to him. Yeah. Check the goddamn ball down. It's on you because you're taking unnecessary traffic. Building the West Coast offense, there are outlets. As Marty Morningweg told me, I don't know, God, 08, something like many, many years ago. And ironically, he's back now. But I remember asking him about the West Coast and how it works, and the old Bill Walsh offense. He said in every play there's an outlet, and he, again, this is so long ago. This is well over a decade ago. I don't remember exactly, but he explained to me how there's always an outlet. And I get that Carson wants to make the big play, but that's got to get coached out of him to the point. I don't care if they have to yell at him. Take the goddamn check down, man. If you want to last, you would ask me on our pregame show about this. And this is actually what I didn't mention, but I should have mentioned. This is on him. When we first started the show 2 years ago, this was my pet peeve with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Take the damn check down. It's there. It's built in. And Boston Scott made the catch of his life, and Carson's throw was unbelievable. But if you fast forward back to the first half, rewind to the first half,
mm-hmm.
Carson had guys open. He had an idea of where he was going to go, and he wasn't seeing the field as well. In fact, that's the other thing about this game. I don't need the coaching tape to see it. I could see some of it. This part I don't need a coaching tape for. He's not seeing the field great. He was not seeing the field great in this game. That was disappointing. Accuracy, dropping his elbow, drop the leg pointing a little bit again. I think there was a little bit of that I could see because I have slow motion on file, so I'm able to slow it down. Very, very clear in HD. There's certain things you can see. But, overall, very uneven game by Wentz. But I give him credit. He got the job done. Lot to learn from this. The positives, Fulgham is a stud. I mean, he could have had better numbers if Wentz was more accurate. Missed him on an open throw early in the game was from, I think 20 yards or something, but the 40-yard play was all Fulgham. And it was good. The throw was there, but the run after the catch, dude. The run after the catch, you gotta be kidding me.
I feel like at the end of the year, this is going to be the positive takeaway for a lot of fans of the team is that maybe the team itself was not good and didn't live up to expectations, but enjoy the Travis Fulgham ride here because I think you mentioned this a couple of times. It's not a fluke. It's not a one-game thing.
No,
kid can play, and he's going to grow. You think with Carson Wentz and and Jalen Reagor when he comes back, and you go to next year, and at least you think you have that, and maybe a normal offseason. I don't know, but the point is Travis Fulgham can play, and that's been a nice discovery.
Stud, yeah,
probably been the only fun discovery.
Yeah, Hightower, the catch. He didn't drop it.
He made a great catch.
Was it
a nice catch?
Was it you? I can't remember who I talked to this week. Who said he was going to make another big play.
Well, I said you got to keep playing him, and I bet if he just starts coming down with him, it's going to look a whole lot better.
It did. That was great. I mean, and he beat. The hell did he beat on that play?
Wasn't Logan Ryan? I think it was. No. Yeah. Was it him or was it the guy who used to be an Eagle for like 2 seconds?
Oh, Ryan Lewis. Yes, you got it.
Ryan Lewis.
I cannot believe Ryan Lewis started again.
Yeah.
He had a bad penalty, but the offensive before we move to defense, I said this on Twitter, and I just want to repeat it again if you missed it, folks. They so need a power back. It's God forbid they get a lead in the fourth quarter. They've got nobody to go to salt the game away. They just don't. The coaches clearly don't believe in Corey Clement. That ship has sailed. Did have a nice 7-yard play. The one only carry he had the first half.
Right? Oh, the run, yeah.
They just don't believe in him.
That was okay.
Yeah, they don't believe in him, so that ship has sailed. Huntley had a couple nice plays. Okay, great. Holofield, they didn't want him up. So I don't know, man. This roster is flawed. They just injury's part of it, but there's some things that they just didn't get done, and that. I'm not going to call it the Carlos Hyde miss because I understand they didn't want to spend a lot of money, but you got to bring somebody in. And I love your thought about Frank Gore, man. I'd love to see that.
Go get him. I do want to give some props to Boston Scott. Didn't play a great overall game, but man, there's something about the Giants being on the other side that brings out the best in Boston Scott because that was one heck of a catch at night.
Oh, the throw was big time, but that's about
beautiful
as big
throw,
time.
But great catch, yeah.
He let him. He threw with some anticipation. He goes, I'm going to throw it out there, somehow over the defender's hand, and you're going to go get it at 5'6". And the concentration, he had to do it or the game's over, really, to me. I mean, that's the way he's got to look at it. I mean, the throw was great. Catch was great. Greg Ward, great touchdown. The guy gets open in a short area like nobody's business. The guy's amazing. I'll tell you what. You mentioned in the pregame, so just to clean this up. So Reagor got the cast off. We still think week 10, correct? That he could be back.
That's the first week after the bye, right? It's now Cowboys by Giants. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, it's Cowboys by Giants, Browns.
Yeah. So I've been told that with the cast off, he's close to catching balls now. I think the timetable is, from what I'm told, the timetable is still the same. The week after the bye, which would
we'll
be
update it again, but good.
Which would be the Giants. But yeah, I want to get a little more because they said this when he hurt his shoulder, that they were going to hold him out the season opener. It wasn't worth it, but then he started to show how fast of a healer he was, and they put him out there in the season opener anyway. And so I'm not going to totally slam the door down on the idea that maybe he can get in there sooner than later, but that is still the target timetable.
Yeah, I would say something on Rager's shoulder, because what happened was they were really concerned initially, but within like a 48-hour time span, they got a second opinion, and they were pretty certain they knew what the injury was, the shoulder. What was it, rotator cuff? Like, it's been with all these injuries.
It was a labrum. It was a
labrum. Okay,
tear in a piece of his labrum.
Yeah, right. Okay, but they felt like they had it under control in terms of the information, and they knew what it was, and knew it had to be treated. And another thing about him, he's so jacked up and strong physically, it actually helps him where that injury is. I was told to be able to heal faster. It's just having thickness back there actually helped him when he got hit. So, but that's good news there. Oh, Zach Ertz, I forgot. There were a couple of updates I wanted to put on our pregame show. We hit a lot of things, but Ertz's timeline, he was given by Dr. Anderson. That's a renowned foot specialist who works out of Green Bay. I think he still works with the Packers. But anyway, every NFL player goes there. Baseball players go there.
Yeah. Brandon Graham went there for his ankle a couple of years ago.
Who did?
I think Brandon Graham went there for the ankle.
Okay.
Remember when he had the ankle surgery after the Super Bowl? I think?
Oh, yeah. He 4-6 timeline. It's closer to 6. It's in the same area as it's very similar, I'm told, to Christian McCaffrey's ankle injury. So my sense is it's going to be really forward thinking for him to be ready after the bye in week 10. Because Zach's toughness, I will not rule that out. I would say it's unlikely, but not impossible. We'll see how much progress he can make. So the problem that they have now is Jason Krum, unfortunately, was not a factor. He didn't have a catch in the game. And it's good that Richard Rodgers shows some stuff. That was good, but they need some speed at tight end. They need Dallas Goedert. We're going to have more information on him on our next show, Monday, that drops 6 a.m. Monday morning. But he has an ankle fracture. I talked a little bit about this on our pregame show on Friday. Or Thursday. You could rewatch it. By the way, I have to say this. That was no offense to our guy Greg Cosell, who'll be on with us as long as we do the show, but the chemistry that the four of us had, me and you, and Trey, and Jamal Jackson, our special guest, Geoff, I'm still blown away by it.
I just thought when you put two offensive linemen together, I mean, you've watched Tales from the Blind Side. You put these two guys together, and they get into it. And, it's worth rewatching just to see them argue over the failed 2-point conversion play from the Baltimore game and whether the center was responsible or the play call was responsible.
But it was I'll tell you what, though,
it's really good, yeah.
The show was actually very serious, very high-level football intel. And you would tee us up, and then we go back and forth, and I might follow up. And what happened was and I don't know how it happened. Oh, I know. Trey was talking about his time with Andy Reid coaching as a coaching intern.
Right.
In training camp. And
this past summer, yeah.
Right. And we were talking about it. And I said to those guys, give me a difference or what you know about Doug Peterson and Andy. And you have to listen to it. It was phenomenal. And I actually learned a lot. In fact, I'm going to use some of that for our future discussions and whatever interviews I do with people. Because I love the way that they both talked about it and their own experiences with Andy. Jamal Jackson's story, I'm not going to give it away. You'll have to hear it about his early time with Andy. And also Trey's first year with Andy as a rookie and what happened to him. That was on Trey. Trey will explain that. So you're missing it. It's so worth watching. I implore you, if you haven't seen it, to watch it.
All right, let's move on to the defense. Before we do that, as we tell you all the time, make sure you're checking out PHLSportsNation.com, covering all of Philadelphia's pro sports teams like nobody else, always enhancing the fan experience with their great coverage, their content, and, of course, all of their good podcasts as well. Check them out on Twitter at PHL Sports Nation, or just go to the website, PHLSportsNation.com. They are great. And we'll pause real quick for another word from a great sponsor. All right, Adam, you know what? I know there weren't a lot of points scored in this game, and so you don't look at this as one of those, oh, man, Jim Schwartz, like you did when they were giving up 28 and 30 points. But man, I mean, again, I go back to if Evan Ingram catches that ball, you're looking at a few. They could not stop the run very well in the fourth quarter. They didn't put a ton of pressure, given how bad the Giants' offensive line was. They got pressure. I'm not saying they didn't get it.
Yeah, they got inconsistent pressure.
They had to blitz though to get a lot of their pressure, which I thought was interesting. And man, Crevan LeBlanc, I know people love him. He is a good, tough guy. He's on the field way too much. You got him up against Golden Tate, and he's getting abused. They did have one nice breakup in the end zone, but I mean, the defense just did not give you like an inspiring effort. And I think if they would have lost that game, you could have really pointed to giving up all those running yards to Wayne Gallman and then clearly getting fooled by Daniel Jones on an 80-yard touchdown. I know the guy leads the Giants.
That was on
rushing.
McLeod. I was told the initial word of that was on McLeod, but we'll know more.
Well, I thought Brandon Graham kind of played the mesh point instead of, he broke contain on that as well, I would think.
Yeah, but McLeod went a certain way and he went the other way. But I agree with all that. There's not much I can add other than that. They did not go the way I projected it to be. I thought they would dominate the Giant offensive line. They did not even come close to doing that. They had their moments. They hit Daniel Jones 8 times in the game. They made some moments. Nate Gary had that great blitz. Singleton had that one nice play up the middle. He hit Jones twice, but very uneven game for the defense. That's being charitable. LeBlanc simply does not have the foot speed. That's what happens. And look, the thing that was interesting, and I know you pointed it out to me, I did not even realize it 5 minutes in because I'm looking at so much stuff. If he played on defense, I didn't see it. I did not see Maddox play on defense. I know he played on special teams.
Yeah, no, I guess he was available only in emergency. He did play on special teams.
Well, he had a tackle, right? He had a tackle on defense, but yet he played sparingly. And here's what we reported on our show leading up to the Baltimore game, that we had heard that he was ginger on that ankle, that he wasn't ready.
That's right.
Well, 5 days later, it was very clear to me he was, what we had heard was correct, why they didn't do it. But this is what we said before. They don't have enough outside corners.
No,
this is killing them, man. It's killing them.
And I know Avante wasn't playing very well as an outside corner, but he needs to be there because then the slot corner needs to be Nickel Roby-Coleman, and Strap really has got to be your fourth cornerback, only in on those spread formations. I mean, you have him up against Golden Tate there twice, one on the 39-yard touchdown, another time he had the 22-yard pass interference penalty. I think that was him. Yeah, that was Strap.
Yep.
And it's just it was a mismatch from the start. The linebacker, I'll say this for the linebackers. We'll have to watch the tape.
Yeah.
Alex Singleton, I thought was aggressive. So we got our answer, right? The nickel linebackers were Gary and Singleton, not Riley and Gary, or not Riley and Singleton. So it's still what the coaches want. They were aggressive. Do you remember the play where Alex Singleton blitzed up the middle and trucked Devontae Freeman?
Freeman's
When's the last time you saw an Eagles linebacker just have a play like that?
I know. Singleton, listen, this is the fine for them. It's forcing. It's funny because it's taking Ken Flagel time to figure out that this guy could play. I mean, we've had to criticize the Flagel. He has his favorites, as all coaches do, and sometimes he doesn't see the players who actually should be on the field. We crushed him for LJ Fort last year. That was a mistake. And don't make a mistake. Well, the kid's been too good. Oh, by the way, TJ Edwards is going to return for the next game. In fact, he's ready. He could have played this game, but they had a roster decision they had to make. So he'll play, barring anything foreseen, they'll activate him to the roster and they'll have him available. I don't know why they wouldn't, because I've heard, from what I understand, he's ready to go. So that's more good injury news. I'll tell you what, man, after this bye, a bunch of players are going to come back in weeks 10 and 11. Won't be Jason Peters this week. He's not expected playing in week 8. We'll get more information on him next week, but with his toe injury, I'm told that definitely is not the case. But look, offensive line-wise, we didn't really talk about it very much. I'm a little bit disappointed. I know we're just talking defense, but I have nothing else to add on the defense. You covered it well. Offensive line-wise, they got some problems. Lane's injuries,
right?
Ankle and knee. He was not himself, clearly. Mailata looked like he played well, but I need to find out from people who are grading the tape how he played. Suapeta looked like he had some struggles. We know at the one where he almost took, where he went into Wentz, he got overpowered.
Yeah, by
But
Leonard
it looked like
Williams.
he had some struggles, but we'll learn more. So did you have any thoughts on the O-line?
Well, I think the point I made was that Jaworski was right, that Carson is throwing with too many many linemen pushed back into his face. Now, I get that those aren't supposed to be the guys that are out there. So I'm not blaming anybody.
Right.
Just basically saying that if you're looking for some kind of inspired confidence because the Eagles won this game, and that's why I said I'm curious to see what the fans think and feel about this. To me, you won a game. It keeps you alive a little bit. You can be happy about a win. A win is a win. But in general, there were definitely some things that you're still concerned about, and you don't know that if you're playing any other team that you come out of that game with a win. Even the Bengals, you tied them because you couldn't make the 2 or 3 key plays. The Bengals might have been better than the Giants if you think about it.
Well, they're more talent on offense. Oh my God, they're way more talented than Giants.
Yeah. I want to get to 2 more things, but first, I want to let people know about our friends at DraftKings, man. Week 6 of football is in the books. Now it's time to review the tape, get ready for Week 7. There's no better place to get in on all the action than with DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. To add to the excitement of Week 7, DraftKings Sportsbook is bringing back their can't-miss offer. If you haven't tried DraftKings Sportsbook yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving all new users the chance to earn a sign-up bonus up to $1,000 when signing up using promo code ITB. DraftKings Sportsbook has endless ways for you to bet, from live betting to betting on your favorite players. They do it all. Don't worry if football's not for you. They're giving all MMA and baseball fans who sign up now the chance to turn $1 into $100 by betting on either of this weekend's UFC 254 or by taking action on any baseball championship game. DraftKings is safe, reliable, and secure, making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code ITB when you sign up and get up to $1,000. That's code ITB to get a sign-up bonus up to $1,000 for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You got to be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, in partnership with Meadows Racetrack Casino. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and the first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Adam, the one big concern that we don't talk about because it doesn't fall under offense or defense is Jake Elliott. Guy missed a 29-yard field goal.
Yeah.
He's been missing field goals now a couple of times.
He's been struggling. Yeah.
He's been struggling. Now they gave him a big contract, and, he's been known for having a big leg. And, 57 yards in Pittsburgh, I'm not going to cry about because nobody's kicked anything over that 55-yard there. But to miss against Baltimore, now to miss against a 29-yarder.
Yeah, it can't happen, man. That's short of an extra point. That is a chip shot of all chip shots. That can't happen. They're gonna have to look at this. This has been an ongoing issue with him. Yeah, this is he's been on the downward spiral this season. That's not a good thing.
You think you got to bring in somebody, or is it too early?
I'm sorry.
Bring in someone.
Bring someone in. No, you try them out. I mean, it's real simple. What you do is, first of all, you send a message, because coaches always tell me this. What they'll do is, some teams will do this because I've talked to coaches over the years who've mentioned this to me. They'll sometimes they've decided they're not going to sign anyone, but they're going to work players out, and because reporters get access to workouts. So it'll get out there, and the player, the kicker, their own kicker, will know about it. Sometimes that's the kind of pressure they want to put on the guy. Hey, get your bleep together, get yourself together. Hey, start making these kicks. This is the first time he's really gone through struggles. This has been pretty bad. He's missed some kicks you got to hit, and that's not good. Your home field, the weather is about as good as it gets. This global warming, man, my God, it was on Thursday, so. You got to hit these kicks, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll see if that continues and what's going to go on. All right, let's wrap it up with our Manscaped Man of the Game. And Adam, what does a guy call his best friends? His testes besties, of course. Haven't you heard that one before? Testes besties? Come on.
No.
No? Well, here's a first. Halloween's right around the corner. You don't want to spook somebody with your scary bush. So our friends at Manscaped want to help you make your boys downstairs feel clean and the best of friends. So Manscaped's #1 in below-the-waist grooming and offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. You got Halloween coming up. You might be Chewbacca, Bigfoot, Hairy Bear, whatever it is. It's under the costume that really matters. All right. So don't be that hairy guy underneath there. Change the game with the Perfect Package 3.0. You get the electric trimmer called the Lawnmower 3.0. It's got the waterproof and skin-safe trimmer. You know, it reduces those nicks to your pumpkins. And you can also create less mess by trimming in the shower or using their Magic Mat disposable shaving mats. That's another great, invent from Manscaped, the Magic Mat disposable shaving mat. And of course, let's not forget about the Crop Preserver, the anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits, so why wouldn't you put it in the smelliest part of your body? Now, the Perfect Package 3.0 also includes the anti-chafing performance boxer briefs. And of course, you'll love the Crop Reviver, the ball toner spray. So it's time to get clean and mean with this Perfect Package 3.0, and you get 20% off and free shipping if you use the code ITB at manscaped.com. Stay sexy this Halloween. Your balls will thank you. Remember, 20% off and free shipping with using code ITB at manscaped.com. 20% off and free shipping. Trick or treat. Keep your balls neat. That's what they say on Manscaped. So I hedged my bet a little bit, right? I predicted the Eagles to lose. I predicted the Giants win 21-16, I think, and I was almost nailed it. But do you remember who my Manscaped man of the game was?
No.
I said it would be Boston Scott.
Oh, did you? Okay, nice call. Well, that would be mine post game. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm sticking with it, man. That catch was beautiful. I know it was a great throw by Carson, but without that kind of play, which you absolutely need in a game like that, you don't win. And that was starting to look like a disaster there. So Boston Scott remains my Manscaped man of the game.
He is mine. Boston Scott, little big man. Did a great job, great concentration. I still cannot believe it was one of those because, they replayed it on NBC, but I replayed it because it was on my DVR. I must have played it 6 times because I still couldn't believe he caught him. Like, how the hell did he catch that? And then you see the replay from NBC and how whatever it was. I know, sorry, on a NFL Network, so it's the way to do it. But the catch was just off the hook. I mean, it just really was amazing, and it's in a way you can't say it saved their season because the division's so terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But in a game where they really did not play well in the third quarter, they were quite frankly awful offensively. It was embarrassing how bad they were.
Oh yeah,
Wentz was still 25 or 43 for 359. Made some bad decisions, made some good decisions, made some great throws, hit the game winner. He's got some issues he's got to clean up. He's got to be coached harder. The stuff has got to stop with the forced throws. He needs to understand, Geoff, before we get out of here, he doesn't control the players that he plays with. He controls his decisions.
Right.
And that's what he needs to accept. And he still hasn't accepted yet because he still makes the same mistakes. But he's gifted, and you don't want to take it away from him. But, man, they've got to get through to him because it's costing the team not only plays and turnovers and turnover and downs and all sorts of stuff. It's not the way that you play the quarterback position. He's got to clean stuff up, and he's got to take responsibility for it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, he's got some time now, a couple extra days to do some soul searching and some tape watching and see if he can do a better job because they got a big next game, obviously, against the Dallas Cowboys. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Inside the Birds. I want to thank our producer, Hunter Brody. Check out his work on YouTube. It's called Sports Talk with Broads. And check him out on Twitter, @Broads81. And as always, we thank you for flying with us inside the bird.